Hello coaches, welcome back to another Modern Soccer Coach Breakdown. This week we're going to talk about one aspect of game intelligence, and that is timing. Reading the game, understanding what spaces to exploit, and then arriving into those spaces at the right time to create goal scoring opportunities. It's crucial in the modern game where spaces open and close really quickly, so your timing of moving into those spaces or moving out of those spaces becomes crucial if you're playing at the highest level. And we're going to look at that today. We're going to look at 3 ideas and 3 ways with tactical concepts that we can bring this onto the training field and work on it. Before we start, please check out the Black Friday special. We're starting it early here on YouTube. 30% off Modern Soccer Coach. The link is below. The special code is below. Everything on the website, 30% off. ModernSoccerCoach.com. Black Friday special starts now. Link is below with the code. Okay, timing. Here we go. So context is always key when we're looking at timing. For this breakdown, we're going to approach it slightly different. We're not going to show where timing is needed. We're going to show 3 examples of when timing is off, what can happen, and then we'll look at a session idea into how to solve that challenge with timing. The first one we're going to look at is fullbacks, attacking fullbacks in the build, and this is something for possession-based teams if they're looking at getting those 2s and 3s high. In this clip, we have pinpointed the yellow zone as an area that would be an optimal area for fullbacks to get into, but if they get in there too early, the opposition can read it, they can adapt, they can adjust, and then all of a sudden, you can run out of ideas, and if you run out of ideas with your team high up the pitch and an expansive shape, it's an invitation for the opposition to counter-attack. So how do you teach your fullbacks when to arrive into those yellow spaces at the right time? Here's how we would do it. Alright, so the session idea for this is to play 9v9s, take out the 7s and 11s as you want to preserve that width. Use the zones and the wide channels as visual reference points for the fullbacks. So there's no conditions in the game per se. The reference point for the fullbacks to occupy at different times. So to be clear, no restrictions, just a visual. Here we want the fullback on the attacking side in the middle zone as the build progresses, and then be prepared to arrive in that final zone when the ball is played. So there's visual reference points to allow the fullback to see at what times you want them where. In the low build, you'd have them lower, high build, you'd have them higher, when and where. This also allows teammates to arrive in the next action, setting up across an opportunity in the box for space for a finish. The second area we're going to focus on with timing is that space in front of the back 4 that a centre forward, a number 9, can drop into. They can unbalance the defensive back line. They can create that space for another player to run into. There's a number of attacking opportunities that if you play this right, you can exploit. But if this goes wrong and that number 9 is waiting in the space and the defender can get some momentum to read it and go in front and win the ball, then again, it's an invitation to a counter-attack. And again, you're not in a really good situation here if you're a possession-based team and you're in an expansive shape. It can be a high-risk situation. So how would you work on this timing on the training pitch? Here we go. Again, we'll go for a 9v9 game. Again, we take out the 7s and 11s. This time to give the number 9 maximum space across that line. So you've got 2 5-yard horizontal corridors that are placed across each half of the pitch. The game flows naturally. There's only one condition. The centre forward, the 9 of both teams, can drop into that zone, receive the ball with no pressure. If they drop into the free zone, no defender can challenge them until they come out of that zone. When they get in there, then that allows the teammates to move ahead, and then free play creates opportunities, and the game should then progress into more of a natural game. A centre forward can't stand in that zone, so they've got to time it right, and they got to arrive in that zone when the ball arrives. So you can teach timing alongside the players with that. Same rule applies on both sides. You can discuss during breaks which team created more in those spaces and how they did. And it's a good discussion point. Before we take a look at the third exercise and the third tactical concept, let's take a look at the special offer for Black Friday for Modern Soccer Coach. 30% off everything on the website. It starts on Black Friday, but because you're a special YouTube follower, if you haven't followed, please follow below. you get the information a couple of days early. It's 30% off all books, ebooks, webinar packages. There's so much content on there. A lot of it's aimed at improving specific areas of the game, scan and set pieces, pass and warm-ups, positional work. A few of the new ebooks also have videos that go along with the PDF, so it's an easy way to follow along. If you enjoy the work on this page and you'd like to help support MSC, please take yourself over to the website. 30% off Black Friday, modernsoccercoach.com, code Black Friday. All right, the third aspect around timing for a possession-based team again involves that number 9. This time we look a little bit further up the pitch into the final third. And this time we're looking in wide areas where the number 9 can move one of the centre-backs into wide areas. The key here that if they do it right, they can get a 1v1 with a little bit of space and the centre-backs are then unbalanced. But if it's wrong, again, that number 9 can get in there too early and then the defence can read it and adapt and then create an overload defensively. And all of a sudden you're outnumbered and that numerical advantage can cause you to lose the ball and become vulnerable in the counter-attack. So how do we solve this on the training pitch? Here we go. This time it's a 6v6 game with teams set up in their tactical shape and the structure that you're looking for. There's space in the final third set up with 2 vertical corridors alongside the width of the 18-yard box. The condition of this game is a little bit different where the defenders are allowed into those little corridors but only after the forward has moved in there. So the forward moving in there allows the defender to move in there as well. And that's designed to give the forward only a window of opportunity in terms of getting their body shape faced up, facing the goal, 1v1, and then something should be created out of that. If they can't, then the defender can adapt and it can become more game realistic. If the attacking team scores from an assist directly from the wide area, it's worth 2 points. Regular goal is worth 1 point. If the defenders score the mini goals, 2 points as well. So the natural game should flow and then the timing should be brought out in this as well. So there we go, coaches. Just some ideas around how to create challenges with timing and recreate those situations in a game where you're going to look at and say, well, if that player drops in a little bit earlier, if that player had have dropped in a little bit earlier, we would have had a great opportunity. It's something that in games we see a lot of on a Saturday or a Wednesday night or whenever we play. We talk about timing with our staff and we talk about it in analysis. It's very, very hard to recreate on the training ground. So what I would recommend when you're recreating it is to almost reverse engineer it, look at it from an analysis perspective, see what moments and where in your build is timing an issue, and then go back and try and recreate situations. Again, you can do it from conditions in terms of the second game where they have to drop in and they're allowed that space, or the first game where it's just a visual reference. So when you're putting cones on the pitch, it doesn't have to be part of the game where you're not allowed in there. It can just help the player see where you would want them, when you would want them. And that can be very, very helpful for a player. And again, if you're using video analysis, you can then go back and discuss this with the player and get a better insight yourself into how much progress is being made and where that progress is being made. Sometimes it might take weeks and weeks and weeks for it to be made on the match day. But if you're tracking it during the week in training and you're seeing those small gains, it can help everyone and you can communicate that, and then that can help confidence in the group. And then maybe that helps bring more of it out on the match day as well. So game intelligence is complex. Timing is just one aspect of it. If you enjoy it and you want more aspects of game intelligence, please give it a like below. Please put something in the comments if there's an area of the game that you're looking for with session design and some tactical analysis. We'll definitely take a look at it. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you for taking a look at the Black Friday offer. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. I will see you next week. Goodbye.